So over the past year and a half or so, we have been working on a completely new release here of the new version of the backend. So you've seen that there are some new functionality changes. You've seen some emails to say that we've got some new functionalities, things that you guys have been asking for over the years. So we have got some new features that are in place. We have also just freshened things up a little bit. So as you can probably see just from my dashboard here, things are looking a little bit different. They look a bit fresher and a little bit more new. So we are going to go through each section of the system and kind of what has changed, just as an overview. So without further ado, let's get started. So dashboard. On your dashboard, folks, you now have a new feature, which is a top 10 overdue accounts. So this tells you at your organization, the top 10 parents with overdue money and how much it is that they currently owe on this table. So if you wish to, you can go to view all. That will allow you to see in more detail all of the parents who have got some overdue money and how much money it is that they have missed as well. So on your left-hand side, where your navigation menu is, there's been a little bit of a reshuffle and we've tried to organize the menu a little bit better. So for example, you used to go to organization and then to settings to manage your organization's settings. Now, this has changed because we feel that your navigation menu is for all of your day-to-day runnings. Everything that you use daily is on your left-hand menu. So organization settings, generally speaking, once you have set them up at the beginning, you don't tend to use them all too often afterwards. So at the top right, we have moved your settings to here. So if you click on the settings, this will allow you to access your organization settings that you used to access from your left-hand menu. Now, the new additions to your organization settings are that you're able to apply your own bank details now. So here on the page, you'll see that you've got a bank details section. This will allow you to update the details that we pay your weekly income for you into. So if you need to amend your bank details, this is the place to do it. You don't have to kind of raise a help desk ticket or have that done by us anymore. It's something that you'll be able to do yourself. Something else that you've probably noticed about the settings screen is that it's just a little bit more organized. So we've put everything into individual cards so that everything that is relating to a particular section is grouped together. So organization settings, for example, this shows all of the organization settings in one particular tab. Look and feel, this allows you to manage things like your invoice headers and footers, things that used to come under the organization and get started, or organization and details has all been combined for you in the look and feel section. So those are your organization settings. So you'll see as we work through that there are a few other changes on the left-hand menu. Something else that has changed is the sibling discounts. So previously you would manage all of your sibling discounts at the activity level. We've now added a section for you under the finance section so that you can create all sibling discounts just from here. And we're going to get into that in a bit more detail in a moment. So something else that has changed is under your organization section where you previously would manage your administrators. This has changed slightly. So when you go to organization here, you can click administrators and this will show you all of the two sections combined basically. So we've got the administrators, which is where you can actually add a new administrator onto the system. And then you've got your admin groups. Previously, you probably would remember that you'd go to organization, you'd see administrators, and then you'd see admin groups separately. Those are combined here. So now if we go to organization, administrators, here we can select then the organization. So Magicbooking here on the dummy system is set up as if we were one club that works from multiple locations or one school from multiple locations. So here we can say Magicbooking, which shows me the Magicbooking organization level and all of my administrators who have been applied to the organization level. You can also look at your administrators by center. So if I wanted to look at Bridge Kids, for example, which is one of my centers, here I would see who I've given access to the Bridge Kids center. So this is just for you to be able to review your admins. Next, you've got the ability to add or view your existing administration groups. So at the top right here, if we click on the little eye icon, we can view the existing groups. So view groups, again, here you can choose for the Magicbooking organization level, which groups you've created. This shows you which level of access the administrator has as you did previously. This hasn't changed, by the way, team, in terms of your restrictions of access. So here you've got the name of the group. Obviously, you can click on the title to rename the group or to change the description. And you can click on the number of users to see who it is that has been assigned to your restricted admin group. So this is you viewing admin groups. You're also able to create a new admin group from this section as well. So the idea here is that you haven't got to get into creating your administrator, then go back to organization and go, admin group first, wouldn't you? So normally you'd create your admin group. Then you'd go back to organization, you'd go to administrators, you'd add your new admin and assign them to the group. So it just means now that it's all housed in one tab here together. So let's look at adding a new admin group. If we go to add a group here, this will allow us to choose to create your group for all centers. Now, previously with your creating of admin groups, you would have had to create them one by one for each center. When you've got more than 2, 3, 4 centers, it can become a bit cumbersome to go through each of those sites and to add all of your admin restricted groups. So we figured it would be much easier to allow you to create an admin group for all of your centers simply by checking the box here. So if I wanted to create a group now that were for play workers, for example, I would be able to restrict that group only to my play workers, and I'm going to create it for all of the centers. Now, the description just gives you a quick description of kind of who this group is for. If you wish to, you can just outline kind of who your play workers are and add that to your description here. Next, you've got your areas of access. Of course, you just need to tick or remove a tick for anything that you do or don't want your administrators to be able to access as you would previously. And then you can go ahead and add your new group. So I've just added a new group. That would mean now that I can go ahead and create my new administrators and assign them to the group. So at the top right, you'll see the option to create an administrator. If this person hasn't used the system before, you'll need to create them as a new admin. So click on create admin. Here, then you can select their job title. You can put their title. You've got their name and last name, add the email address. And if you wish to, you could use a phone number for the person as well. This can be used for kind of sending text messages as an approval, basically, or multi-factor authentication. So the email section here has changed. Previously, you would have added your email here and you would have had the administrator with you so they could type their new password onto the system and be ready to go. Now, what happens is even if the administrator isn't with you, you can set them up. You add the email address here. You can then send them, or the system will send them automatically an email, which tells them they've been added as an administrator and allows them then to create a new password and to get logged in to the system. So this is how you would add a new administrator. Once you have added your new admin, you then just need to set them up. So you've added them to the system as an administrator. You just need to say what level of access it is that this person should have. So earlier on today, I created somebody called Joe Magic. So here, if I go and search for Magic, for example, I can see Joe Magic. I can then assign him to one of my centers. So I might say, for example, that he should have access to Magic Kids or Bridge Kids. Here, I'll select Bridge Kids. I can then choose which of the administration groups I'd like him to be assigned to. Let's say he's a finance user. Then add the administrator. At the bottom here, the system says, okay, you're going to add Joe Magic as a finance user at Bridge Kids. Here you can save to confirm your changes, and Joe would have now been added at Bridge Kids as an administrator. If we go to Bridge Kids, there he is. There's Joe as a finance user. So he's been assigned. So Joe's come into the office this morning. He's let me know that he's forgotten his password. He's not sure how to reset it. Of course, he could go to centers.magicbooking and he could click on the forgotten password link. Or, of course, team, you can just click on the link here and that will send a reset password link directly to the administrator of your choice. So these are your key changes for the administrators and the admin groups, which are now combined under one tab here for organization administrators. The next thing I'd like to go through with you all is the activity wizard. So the activities previously were created in kind of sections all on one page. Now, to make things easier for you in terms of the setup, we've created a wizard which takes you on a step-by-step journey of creating your activity. So if you go to activities on your left-hand menu, followed by create new activity, this is where you'll be able to input your activity details. So you'll see here that it's broken down into 5 sections. You've got details, schedule, finance, registers, settings, and then you've got a review stage here as well. So first things first, you can assign an emoji and then you can add your activity name. Now I'm just going to create a breakfast club here, for example. So just a comment here on your activity type and your categories. The booking mode that you choose can drive the kind of booking view for the parent. So here, for example, the individual sessions, you all know that that's very flexible. It allows a parent to kind of just book, one day or the entire schedule. It's up to you. But the things like the school trip and the parents' evening now change the view for the parent site. So with the parents' evening in particular, it offers a slot booking and shows that the parent is or isn't booked. Sorry, that the slot is or isn't bookable, and if it's now being booked by somebody else. So it just changes it to a slot booking mode as opposed to you having those individual sessions. So category here, we can choose the breakfast and after school club. Of course, we can link it to an activity, a classroom. Then you've got your age group. So here, if I say, for example, my activity is available from 4 to 12, and you can also add your activity description here. That hasn't changed. And same for your special needs and for disabilities descriptions as well. At the next stage, you've got your activity schedule. So here we'll need to choose the start and end date of our activity as normal. So I'm going to set up from September. Let's say we're going to go from the 1st of September all the way through for the next academic year until the 29th of July and apply the date. Here you could add your excluded period as you would have done previously. Same thing, just on your two calendars, choose your date. And then you've got your actual session set up. So here you can choose your days of the week. Let's just remove Saturday and Sunday and assign your group title. And again, this hasn't changed, folks. So your group title and your custom label work the same as they did previously. You have got a new time picker, though. This makes it a little bit easier for you. So rather than having to scroll for an eternity through all of the different times, here you can click on the time in the middle, and it will just allow you to choose a start time from the list. So here, let's say we're starting at 7. Again, click on the time. Here we can click on the time in the middle, and I can say my session runs from 7 until 9, and it costs £4. Next, you've got the number of places. You just need to enter how many places are available for your activity, and you can add your session below. So now that you've added your session, you can see the session below. You've got the start time, end time, days of the week. You've also then got your special days. So previously, when you wanted to add a special day, you would have had to meet the time. So the start time and the end time would have to be kind of matching to the session. Then you'd have to say that there is a 0 cost and 0 places to make just that particular session unbookable. So to make it easier for you, what we've done here is we've added all of the dates for you in a drop-down list. You're then able to tick the option that says make days unbookable. So whichever session you apply your special day for and tick make days unbookable, it means that that session will be removed. Similarly to adding an excluded day, but of course the excluded day stops all sessions available on that day from being booked. So if you had a breakfast and an after school club, the excluded period would stop you from booking both. So we've added our special days to the schedule. Let's go on to the next stage, which is where we can set up the finance options. So here you've still got your cost centers. You have still got the option to apply VAT, and then you've got your weekly discount. Another new change here, folks, with your schedules is that the weekly discounts can now be applied for a contract booking type. Previously, if your parents set up a contract booking, there was no option to have a weekly discount. This is something that we have implemented based on your feedback. So you're now able to apply a weekly discount with a contract booking mode. Next, you've got your sibling discounts. Remember, those are managed from a different section now. So you can apply your sibling discount from here. So here I'll be saying I'm offering a 10% flat discount for everybody who books. But remember, you're going to set your sibling discount up by going to finance and then to sibling discounts. Just the last two things that we've got on the finance section here is the option to enable a deposit if you wish to, and then just setting up your payment options for your breakfast and after school activity in my case. At the next stage, you can choose to have your register set up to be emailed to you daily. Now, previously, all of your registers were sent at around midnight and around midday for you. When you set up your register to be sent via email now, so that's the secure link we send you, here you can enter your title, so Breakfast Club Register. Here you can enter your recipient email, and now you're even able, folks, to choose the time that you would like your register to be sent. Again, this is something that was requested by you, so I hope this is a good new feature. You can then obviously get your sorting order and then add your register recipients to the bottom, which will just let you confirm who you've added. Next, you've got your activity settings. So previously, when you created an activity, you had your activity details section on the left, and that would show you your buttons such as bookable by admin only, approval required, allow parents to cancel. You haven't lost any of those functionalities. All of the buttons are still here for you, and they are under step 5, settings of the activity wizard. So from this page, of course, you can assign your booking notices, you can set up your BCC booking confirmation, and even assign to a particular user group if you wish to as well. At the next stage, you've got a review. This just shows you all of the details that you've put together for your activity. Please just bear with me. We've just got a little load here. So here then you've got the details of your activity. So we know that we created a breakfast club that was £4 with individual sessions. And it just outlines here for you all of the details that you've put together so you can have a final review in case you wish to use the previous button and go back and maybe review something that you may have made a mistake on. And then again, another kind of longed for feature is the publish date and time. You will now be able to choose the date and time that your activity is published automatically by the system. So here you can determine the time. Let's say I want my activity to go live at 10:20 and click publish. The system is going to put my activity online for me at 10:20 and it will become available for my parents to book. So that's the wizard stage. So as you can see, the activity is now complete and ready to go. Obviously, once it's active, it will be online for parents to book. And it's just all organized a little bit better. So again, you've got your activity details and register recipients and just all of the cards a little bit more organized and tidy together here. So that is how we would create a breakfast or obviously an after school activity as well at your organization. Something else I'd like to cover with you just quickly is to create a parents' evening activity, because I mentioned just now that it's slightly different when you create a parents' evening activity. I'd just like to show you how. So the steps at the top change slightly. Here we can just say, let's just call it parents' evening, keep it simple. Then we can choose the center. And now it's the activity type that's going to change the setup. So if we were to choose Parents' Evening, the category is predetermined to Parents' Evening. You see it just takes the finance step out for you. Then you can restrict your Parents' Evening to a particular classroom. So I'm setting up one for 3MB here. Again, description, special needs and disability. Then you've got your schedule. Again, the schedule here you'll notice probably looks slightly different. So first you've got your date of the Parents' Evening. Let's say our Parents' Evening is going to be on the 13th of July. So let's just say from the 13th until the 13th. Next, you've got your start time. So here you can say that Parents' Evening perhaps starts at 3 o'clock and that it finishes at around 6. Remember, you can click on the time here so that you get the picker and it just saves you that extra time. Then you've got your interval. This is basically for the kind of duration of your periods of your Parents' Evening slot. So let's say 15 minutes at a time. You can even add a buffer, which just gives your teacher a little break between sessions. Next, you've got your reminder text. So here you can set up a reminder text that will be sent out to your parents. It can be via SMS if you have an SMS bundle, or it will be by email if you have got, if you would just like to send an email reminder out to your parents. You can also choose to set up both, and then whether or not your parents are able to cancel this session. At the next stage here, you can see your kind of reminder text. So if I had entered something in the reminder, that will be displayed for you here. And then you can see your sessions. Now, previously with the Parents' Evening, we know that you had to add your sessions individually. Again, that could be something that was a little bit cumbersome. This is the idea of the intervals and the buffer periods as well, so that you can set all of your sessions up in one foul swoop. So now we're happy with the 3MB classroom activity. If you want to, you can set up here for the register to be sent via email. And then finally, again, you're at the review stage. So the only difference here is that the kind of slot booking is displayed for you instead of the individual flexible booking type that we usually offer with all other activities. So I've just spotted on the chat that somebody says it just says screen share in progress. Can I just confirm everybody can see my screen? A few confirmations there. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Okay, so this is your activity wizard. Now let's move on. I'd like to have a quick look with you at the parent accounts, the child accounts, and also the in-tray booking view as well. So let's quickly go back over to your dashboard. I'm going to make use of our top 10 overdue accounts here. You can see that I'm named and shamed at the top of the list. So here I can click on my parent account so that I can get into my account and show you some of my details. So here we are. This is my parent account. Previously, again, you didn't have it so organized. So now you've got all of these different cards, and you've also got tabs along the top of the screen, which allow you to jump to the section of your choice to review that section. So here we're looking at the parent account details. Here we've got your financials. So the financials just give you an overview of the parents' kind of outstanding balances, the total amount that they've been invoiced. You've got their balance to date, and also you can arrange their overdraft threshold from here, as well as that fixed account button that you can use here to allocate any credits towards bookings that are in arrears. Moving down the page here, you've got the parents' bookings in this section. You still have the parents' children listed here with their dates of birth. Then you've got your centers and parents groups where you're able to assign a center or a parent group to any parent. Then you've got your preferences around terms and conditions for the parent as well. Something new here that was a request from yourselves is the notes section. You're now able to assign a note onto a parent's account. This is an internal note, so it's not something that is displayed to the parent themselves. So if you had any kind of notes that you would like to add here to a parent account, you can add a note here for your staff's information. Also, you've got your communication section here. Now, previously, you couldn't send an email directly to a parent from the account here. You're now able to go straight to a parent account, scroll down to the communication section, and then you can click on send communication. The templates will allow you to choose one of your existing templates. Apologies, mine are a little bit of a mess from the testing system here. But this will show you any templates that you've got previously. Or, of course, you can just type a new email straight to the parent. So here you've got your subject, then the body of your email. Once you're finished, you click send, and that will trigger the email to be sent to your parent immediately. If we scroll down the page here, you've still got your statement available, and, of course, the audit, which tells you any changes that have been made to the parent's account. So this is kind of your parent view. Let's have a quick look at the children view next. So let's take Sam here. And now again, we're looking at Sam's details. Now this page has changed slightly. It's even more detailed now for you in the child details section. So here you've got the ability to view the person's collection password. Again, that's a new functionality here. You've got an overview of the tax-free childcare number. You've also got your consents here that are indicated for you as well. So you'll probably recognize the consent icons from your register. Those are also displayed now at the child view as well. And of course, you can set up your child discount as normal. You've got your additional contacts displayed at this stage, and then your healthcare section as well. So here in your healthcare section, this will group all of your dietary needs, allergies, medications, auto-injectors, medical conditions, and special needs. Then finally, you've got your booking section. And again, you can add a note here onto a child. So for example, I've just added a note here to say what Sam likes to do. This might then give my play workers or my managers some inspiration for maybe their planning. They can go and have a look at the child's record here and see that they like cars and incorporate that into the sessions. You've also got your consents as well. So the consent questions that you are asking all of your parents are displayed here with all of the answers that they have given for their children for you as well. So that's the parent and the child view, folks. Let's go and have a look at one of my bookings now. So here we've got the list of my bookings. I can see this one's got a balance. Let's go and check this one out. So I'm clicking on my booking reference number. That takes me to my booking. Remember, folks, you've got your global search at the top right here. So with your global search, you can search by booking reference number. You can search by parent first name. You can search by parent last name, or children, of course. You can search by activity title. There are many, many, many different searches in the global search that you can do. So back onto our in tray. Here we're looking at the details of the booking. So we've got the booking reference number and activity details listed at the top here. You've also got the parent's overall account balance and the financials for this particular activity booking as well. If we scroll down the page here, you can find all of the book dates. This will also tell you if there are any overdue or outstanding bookings for the parent. So you can see at the moment, it's not looking good for Sam. Sam's got lots of overdue and outstanding balances here going on the account. Now, you've of course got your amend booking section here. You can still amend your booking as normal. You haven't lost any functionality there. Then you've got your payments as well. So you can record a payment, and you've also got your payment plans here too. So the payment plans are just a little bit more transparent. They're clearer for you here. It's very clear what kind of plan the parent is using, and you can see all of the details of the parent's plan from this section here. Additional charges, those are still available from the in tray. And then, of course, you've got your invoices and your credit notes displayed along with the audit here at the bottom as well. So this is your in tray, folks. This is where you will go to manage a booking. So if you needed to make any amendments, perhaps you wish to generate a credit note or to add some dates to the parent's existing booking, that can all be done from this section here. So next, let's have a look at your reconciliation. Now, the reconciliation menu has changed slightly too. Here, when you land on reconciliation, you've got a few filters that are readily available for you. So first things first, you've got overdue to date. If I click on overdue to date and click search, the system shows me all of my childcare vouchers that are overdue up until now. So if you've got a little bit behind, perhaps on reconciling of vouchers, maybe you just need to catch up a little bit, go to overdue to date, and this will show you all of the vouchers that you probably should have reconciled or the parent should have sent over to you already. You're also able to click on the more info here. Now, something I wanted to mention, folks, is that based on your resolution of your screen and the zoom that you've got set up, sometimes you'll see these more options. Now, as I say, it depends on your resolution and your screen size. But if you're finding that you're seeing lots of these, you can amend your screen kind of zoom to say maybe 80%, 90%. And in certain sections of the system, when you see these more options, they'll just be displayed for you as expanded rather than you having to expand them. So that's your overdue to date filter. So here then we've got the names of those parents. If we click on more, this shows us the payment that we're expecting. So for Louisa here, we're expecting a payment for reading clubs. On the 29th of June, we expected £115. We can click on the reconcile button here to say that we've received it. We'd look at the bank statement and say, yes, we've received a TFC payment. You might want to change the date if you need to, that the payment was made. Then you can add a quick note here for your reconciliation. So you may say that, it was on a bank statement number or any other details that you use internally. Finally, click reconcile and the system adds the payment straight onto the parent's account as it would have done previously from this section. So the other filters that you've got available here, folks, are due up until the end of the current month. You've also got due up until the end of next month as well. So here we're looking at all of my vouchers up until the end of the current month. And then we've got due up until the end of the next month too. Same thing here. So you can view your plan. I didn't show you that you can view your plan. If you click on the view plan option, this also still allows you to see the parent's installment plan. So again, you haven't lost the functionality here that you can see the plan and any kind of changes that have been made to it in the past. The plan is still displayed for you in this section here. So that is our reconciliation section, folks. So we've just gone through our reconciliation, custom filters. How have I forgotten those? So your custom filters, here you can choose your due date up until. So you can say which date your payment is your due up until, and you can see all installments due up until that date. You've still got the option to go by booking ref. You can still search for a parent by their tax-free childcare number. You've also got your payment types, your centers, and childcare voucher providers as well listed in this section. So we've got 2 or 3 minutes left. So I'm just thinking, we weren't planning on running through the registers with you on the new version or in the webinar, just because they've been available to you already for the past few months. But it's come to light this morning that some of you haven't been using them. So I'm going to give you a quick intro just in case you haven't. Please do, guys, go and explore them, because they are really good, the new registers, and they do have some new functionality. So I'm going to choose my center. So I've gone to center and then register. Here I can choose Bridge Kids. I can then choose my activity, which is breakfast and after school club, and I've got the date here as well. Now, at the top of your register, you've got your register info. I know that my breakfast and after school club offers an awful lot of sessions, folks. It's just because, again, we're on the dummy system here, so just ignore the fact there are so many here. This would show you all of the different sessions that you offer in your schedule, how many places are available, and kind of what's been booked and what's left. You've also got your download options here as well. The new functionality here is that you've got the daily and the weekly version of your register, which can be pulled off into an Excel report. You've still got your register download options available to you here. And then you've got your child data and EHCP as well. So the child data gives you a PDF record of all of the children that you've got booked in for today with all of their information. And the EHCP will tell you as well kind of any children that have got something recorded against an education healthcare plan. Something else that we added here as a new functionality was this number of children currently in your care. So previously with the register or the old version, you would have to go through and count. If in the case of an emergency, perhaps a fire drill, for example, you'd have to count how many children are currently in your care based on who's checked in and who's checked out. We've implemented a feature here for you, so the system will constantly count the number of children who are checked in or out at any time. So it will tell you here, for example, that you've got a total of 3 children in your care, so that you know if the fire bell were to ring, you've got 3 children to find and account for that are currently checked in with you. Scrolling down to have a look at your register here, you've got the new option here to sort your register by session. So if you wanted to, you could choose a particular session. You've got your icons that are displayed next to each of the children based on their consent information. And of course, you can mouse over to see the details. You can as well click on the surname of any of your children to see their data. So if they've got any allergies or special needs, any other kind of requirements that you should be aware of, you can of course find those here. You've got your injuries and incident section as well, which are also managed from the center section, folks. So you go to center, injury and incident to find any that you've recorded in the past. And from your register here, of course, you can record an injury or an incident too. So you'll check your children in. Once they've been checked in, it will record on the register for you who's been checked in and when. And at the end of your session, you'll click on the checkout. If you've enforced the collection password, you will be able to ask for the parents for it now. If not, then you can just choose the person who came to collect. You've got the charges. And then another feature that was requested from yourselves is the signature. So here you can get a quick signature from the person who came to collect their child, and then go ahead and save that onto your register. So that's our register view. So, folks, that is your kind of whistle-stop tour around the new version of the system. I'm just going to have a quick look at my notes here, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. As you all know, the Magicbooking system is packed with functionality. We've got a lot of features, and I'm very good, but it's hard to remember all of them. So I'm just double checking my list. And I think we have covered everything together. So if you do have any questions whatsoever about what we've covered today in our session, please feel free to submit those using the question icon that you see on your left-hand side. I will get to work in just a moment at working through these questions with you all, or I shall certainly do my best. Anything that I'm not sure how to answer right away, of course, I will catch up with you afterwards for. And let's have a look what we have here. So, yes, sorry. So I forgot to mention, yes, the session is recorded, folks. I should have told you that at the beginning. So yes, the session is going to be recorded. And yes, indeed, we will share it with you all afterwards. So you will be able to review the recording, and you will all be able to access the link for the recording as well. So next, I think you should be able to see the question that I am answering, folks. So this was Sharon's question. So is it being recorded? Yes, Sharon, it's being recorded. And of course, it's going to be circulated to you all. The next question, if the age range in the activity If I say 12, does that mean that children who are 12 can still be booked, or would I need to say 13? You would still need to say 13, Judith, and that's just because once the child reaches 12, the system sees it as kind of they're 12 years old, they're no longer able to book the activity. Up until the 13th birthday of the child, they would be able to be booked. If you stop it at 12 and you've got a child who's kind of 12 and 6 months, for example, the system doesn't consider them as 12 anymore almost, or basically pushes them up to the 13 category. So I would still recommend going up for 13 if your activity should stop at children who are aged 12. I hope that answers your question. Debbie says, can you duplicate an existing activity? Yes, of course, Debbie, you will still be able to duplicate an existing activity. If we go back to activities here, you'll see on the right-hand side, you've got that option to duplicate. So if you do have any activities from the past, you can use the duplicate button here to, of course, duplicate your activity and create it again, perhaps for a new center or to create a new activity. So yes, you can indeed copy a new activity. When you export the registers, it comes up as a workbook rather than a list as before. Is there a way of getting a list? Thank you for your question here, Tracy. Now, I believe the register is... you're talking about the link. Are you talking about the email register, Tracy? I think you may be talking about the register that we send by email. I could be wrong. So with your exported registers, no, they will come out as an Excel spreadsheet. You can, of course, use the print area on the Excel spreadsheet to choose kind of how much of the page it is that you would like to print. I'm not sure what you mean by getting it as a list, Tracy. Please, could you follow that one? I'll follow that one up with you afterwards. Just to confirm what kind of list it is you're referring to, because I don't think anything has changed in terms of exporting the registers into an Excel doc. So we'll need to come back to this one. Okay, so we've got a question from Emily. She says, are replies that are sent to the emails logged on the parent's account? No, Emily, they are not. So the emails that you would receive back from parents obviously would go directly back to you. Thank you. This is a good question. They won't be displayed on the parent account itself. There's no kind of integration there for us to see which emails have come back to you. We'll only be able to see emails that have been sent out from yourselves to the parents on that section. Thank you for your question. Mary says, we don't get much response from emails sent from Magicbooking. Does the sender show as our email address? So yes, it does indeed. The sender address for every correspondence that you send via Magicbooking is from an email address of your choice, folks. On your organization settings, you set up your default organization email. That is the one that we use to send everything out on your behalf. So all of your booking confirmation emails, your invoices, anything that you choose to send from the communication section, or of course, that handy new feature that you've got to send emails from a parent's account, you will indeed, they will come from the email address that you have set up for your organization as the default organization email under your organization settings, which now live at the top of your menu here. Thank you for your question. Poppy asks, where are bookings under approval? Good question, Poppy. Now you've probably noticed that the left-hand menu is still missing a few functionalities. We've got a few further releases that will be coming for new functionalities on the left-hand side. Please keep your eyes peeled for emails about the further releases that we will be doing. We have got a few sections that you'll still need to manage from the current backend. The bookings under approval are an example of this. So for the time being, you'll use your advanced search on the current version of the system to access bookings under approval. But of course, we will be implementing the bookings under approval on the new version as well. Thank you for your question, Poppy. Okay, so we've got a question here that says, the paid statement for the parent shows the booking has been paid. Universal Credit do not accept a copy of the invoice. Heidi, is this something that we can catch up about afterwards? I think maybe we can speak about kind of the requirements of Universal Credit, or what it is that may need to change on the invoice there. I haven't seen this one before, so we'll need to come back to review this. I will follow this one up with you, Heidi. So that is Heidi to follow up. But thank you for your question, Heidi. I'll be in touch with you and we'll work out here what it is that we need to kind of look into. Thank you for your question. Okay, Paul says, is there a function for creating different daily charges for the same activity, i.e. a reduced rate on Fridays, typically because it's a quiet day for us? So that's a good question, Paul. That is what you could use your special days for. So on your activity schedule, I showed you just now that you can set up those special days. So with a special day, you can match the special day to the day that you would like to run at, for example, a reduced rate. So let's say on the coming Friday, which is Friday the 9th, you're on Friday the 9th, Paul, perhaps you're running a kind of reduced rate session. So for your after school club, you would need to go and add a special day. You would need to match the special day time to your after school club time. So let's say it runs from 3 until 6. You'll still set it up at 3 until 6. If you have a different number of places than normal, you can enter your different number of places. And if you have got a different cost, then of course you can apply the new cost there as well. So your special day can be used if you've got any, as you say, a function or a special day, you can use the special day functionality. I hope that answers your question, Paul. If not, please do let me know. Thank you for your question. Okay, so Valerie says, can all reconciliation searches be exported to an Excel sheet? If you're referring to kind of the reconciliation list that you see here, Valerie, then no. I think you're referring to kind of the full list here. So when we go to overdue today and having this list, you're not able to export from here the list of childcare vouchers or reconciliation to be done into an Excel spreadsheet. I'm afraid that's not something that you could do. Again, please let me know, Valerie, if there's a reason kind of that you would require that. If it's something that we could possibly look into, please do let us know. But at the moment, no, there's no functionality to export your list of reconciliation payments. Thank you for your question. Okay. Debbie says that she couldn't see the register this morning on the iPad. Is there less info displayed on the iPad? No, Debbie, there's not. However, you do need to allow for the fact that the iPad screen is considerably smaller than probably your laptop or your desktop screen. What I would say is if you are using an iPad to access the back end of the system, I would recommend that you use it in kind of landscape mode as opposed to portrait. And also you're able to collapse your menu here. So you can use the kind of hamburger menu, as we'd call it here. The 3 lines that you see at the top of your navigation menu, you can click on that and that will close your menu down for you so that you can fit a bit more information on the screen. So if you're using, for example, an iPad mini, perhaps one with a slightly smaller screen, then I would say make sure you collapse your menu and always use the system on the landscape version. But yes, your register would still be available as normal, even on the iPad. Thank you for your question, Debbie. Okay, Judith says, when can we use the new system as no financial data comes up when I do a search? Judith, what kind of financial data are you referring to? Are you talking about kind of bookings, invoices and payments? Are you talking about the reports? I'm not sure what you mean, but you should be able to use the system right away. You should kind of have access already. So, Judith, if you are having trouble with accessing anything on the system, please do contact us via the help desk and let us know. Guys, if you are raising anything on the help desk as well about the new version, please make sure you indicate for us that it is the new version, because of course they're working side by side at the moment. So if you do come across anything that you're letting us know, perhaps something that isn't as you would expect, please do let us know that it's on the new version. Judith, please let me know about this one and I can follow up with you afterwards. Thank you. Vicky says, will the old version still be available or are you completely switching over? So we're not completely switching over just yet. You'll be able to use both for the time being. Nothing is kind of enforced for you to use the current or the new version. So yes, you've got the choice for both. Thank you, Vicky. Derek says he noticed this morning that he was seeing age and school on the register on the laptop, but the staff couldn't see this when using a tablet. Derek, could you raise that for me on the help desk, please, just so that I can look into this for you and make sure that everything is operating as it should? If you can include any details, any screenshots for me, that would be really, really useful. And of course, I'll look into that for you just to see if there is anything wrong. Mary says, will the old system be removed? It will indeed be removed. I'm not sure if we've shared a date with you for that just yet, but of course, we'll give you plenty of notice and we will communicate with you to let you know as soon as the old version is going to be decommissioned. A bit of feedback from Becky. She says she loves all the new functionality and cannot wait to try it out. Thank you, Becky, for your feedback. Okay. Kirsty is asking for the print options of the dinner registers. So, Kirsty, for the school dinner section, you still have the functionality. So if you go to school dinner and then to register, you will still be able to export from here. So if we just choose Bridge Kids as my example school here, I think 5 MB's got most of my children. So here, when you go to your school dinner view, here you've got your register view. So sorry, folks, just so that you know, this is only applicable to those who have the school dinner module implemented for them. So this is your register where you can mark all of your absences. Kirsty, you can also see your payment status and which meal has been booked or served by the user. At the top of here, you've still got your meal count functionality. So if we go to meal count, here you can go for meals booked or meals served. And of course, you've still got your exporting option here on the right-hand side. So you can indeed access your exporting of the meal view from here. Thank you for your question, Kirsty. Okay, Claire says, what's the easiest way to download and sort your registers? We need them sorting into just before and after school club. When I've tried, it gives me 4 pages with various times. When I just really want 2 pages, one for breakfast, one for after school. Claire, it may be because you've got your breakfast and after school club set up as one activity. When you're exporting your kind of paper version, as it were, or exported version of your register, there is a sorting at the bottom. I would recommend sorting by session so that your system generates for you a breakfast and after school into the different sessions. If you're sorting by classroom or other, I'm wondering if that's what's causing your children to kind of be jumbled up between breakfast and after school. If that's not the case, again, Claire, please just let us know over the help desk. We can look into if it's like an individual case. Of course, we can look into it for you and see if we can offer you a bit of kind of guidance on how you could maybe access a better register. So thank you for your question, Claire. I hope that answers your question. Lindsay says, how can I produce a debt report? So Lindsay, that would still be done via the old version of the system at the moment under the Power BI report section, or of course from your dashboard as well. So remember, on your dashboard, you still have your new functionality. If you wanted to, Lindsay, you could scope out the top 10 overdue accounts if you want to from your top 10 overdue accounts here. Or, of course, you can go into your overdue accounts and missed installments, which will tell you any parents who have got a missed installment or an overdue balance on their account. And you still have the option to export this functionality as well, Lindsay. So your Power BI reports would be the answer for how to get a debt report, and also using your dashboard as well to export any kind of overdue balances or any missed installments as well. I hope that answers your question, Lindsay. Thank you. Okay, Karen says, like you, I have different sessions due to parents collecting at different times, but when collecting children from classrooms, we need a list of all children due on the registers. Is it possible without printing it off? Different sessions due to parents collecting at different times. When collecting children from classrooms, we need a list of all children due on the registers. So Karen, you would just use, so on your register, it's broken down for you into each of the different sessions. So you'll just go to the relevant session. So for example, breakfast club, you'll go to your breakfast club session and that will list for you all of the children but for breakfast. And then as you continue scrolling down the page on your register, that will show you the next lot of sessions. For example, after school club, or perhaps if you've got a later collection for breakfast or after school, then that would be listed as well. So every one of your sessions that you've set up is broken down on your register into each of the sessions and the children that have been booked. I hope that answers your query. Again, please, if it's not answered thoroughly or you have any kind of follow-up questions, please just let us know, team, via the help desk. Derek's just seconding Heidi's view about universal credit. So it sounds like that's something for us to try and investigate and see if there's something we can do to help. Again, Derek, I'll be in touch with yourself and Heidi about this. Thank you. So Kelly says, under the new version, where is the communication to send out to all parents and groups, not just to individuals or the age range, for example? At the moment, Kelly, that's something that you'll still need to manage from the existing live or old version, if you would, for the backend. So you'll need to use the communication section under your existing backend system if you'd like to send a mass communication out to all parents. It hasn't been implemented on the new version just yet, but is coming very shortly as one of our next releases. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Kelly. Sandra says, if we have many activities on a day, how can we merge so that we can create one activity for emergency evacuations? You cannot, I'm afraid, Sandra. Each of your activity or each of your registers is generated on a per activity basis. So unfortunately, you're not able to kind of have one merged register for emergency evacuations. But of course, you'd have one for every single one of your registers that does exist. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Sarah says, how does she log into the new version? Has she missed the email? But I can see she said to ignore me. She's found it. So I'm going to skip past this one. I'm glad you're in, Sarah. Mary says, can we have regular bookings and ad hoc bookings on one register? At the moment, Mary, this isn't a functionality that we offer. I'm afraid you would still have to have kind of the individual or the contract booking mode. You wouldn't be able to have both here in line together. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, this is Sarah saying to ignore her. She's found it. Kelly says, will the Power BI reports remain on the new version as they are? Yes, they will indeed for the time being, Kelly. Those will be available to you as normal. I know we're overrunning slightly, folks. Just want to whiz through the last of these questions we have here. Abby says that he has noticed that on the invoice, the child's full name is not shown. It's just the first name. Can we have the child's name on the invoice that is automatically sent to parents? Abby, this is something we're going to look into for you. I'm going to have a look into displaying the child's full name as opposed to the child's name. I'll just discuss that one with the team and, of course, come back to you. Thank you for your question. Okay. Kirsty, I'll follow up with you after our session here, just so that we can discuss the school dinner register in a bit more detail. I don't know if you're referring to the till view. I haven't shown you the till view here. It's also still available for you, your till view. Apologies. I'll catch up with you afterwards. Okay, I'll catch up with you after about the school dinners. Judith says it's a shame that the email footer only allows 100 characters as a maximum. I can't even get our phone number, email, and website in. Can this be increased? Judith, again, I think there may be probably a better way that we could look at managing your this information that you're trying to input. I'm not sure where exactly which email footer it is that you're amending. I think the email footer there, it's just a signature. So just to sign off as your organization at the end of the email. Again, if it's a specific query, please do add that onto the help desk for me and I can get through that. Okay, so we have two final questions, folks. Sorry for overrunning here. So is the age range still January to December, or has this now been amended to coincide with school ages? No, Kelly, there haven't been any changes to the age range of the activities. Those are still set up in the same way they were previously with regards to kind of the age that it stops for the child. So again, if you've got a child who's 12 and a half, you're going to have to allow until 13 because the system recognizes that at 12 and a half, the child is older than 12 basically and isn't able to be booked. So this hasn't changed. Thank you for your question. And last question here is from Leanne. How do you create an invoice for parents that shows that their booking has been paid? This isn't a functionality that is there at the moment, Leanne, in terms of kind of showing an invoice as paid on the invoice itself. This again looks like something that might need to be raised via the help desk, please, to be further kind of investigated as perhaps an improvement request. Okay. I have been through all of the questions that we had from the questions menu. I would just like to thank you all again for joining me today. Now, as we end the session, there is going to be kind of just a short feedback on the webinar. If you wouldn't mind, it takes literally a minute or two just to say kind of your feedback on the session. Of course, as I say, it is the new version. If you come across anything that you perhaps don't expect, maybe kind of catches you by surprise, if there is anything of like a bug or a glitch, please do let us know and we will have a look at it for you and obviously look at getting it fixed straight away. If there is anything that you need, please do come forward and let us know. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me for our session this morning. It's lovely to see so many of you in attendance, and I hope you have an amazing week. Enjoy the new version of the system and speak to you all soon. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely day. Take care now. Bye-bye.